They're saying the diagram below shows the part of the brain. Obvious, you can see it. That's the part of the brain. Okay. What are they asking? They are saying that identify part A. What is this part A? You can identify all of the parts. For example, part A is cerebellum. Cerebellum. Part B is medulla oblongata. Part C is pituitary gland or hypophysis. Part A is hypothalamus. Sorry, this is hypothalamus. And part D is cerebrum. Now, state 2 function of part D, which is cerebrum. It has 3 functions. The first function is the center for higher thought processes, which is memory, judgment, and reasoning. Number 2, it coordinates all voluntary actions. For example, raising the hand, sitting, standing, things you do on your own will. And then lastly, it receives and interprets all the sensations. For example, seeing, hearing, tasting, all that. Those are sensations. So those are the functions of cerebrum. Name the hormone that's stimulated by gland C that has an effect on, number 1, long bones. That is growth hormone. It is growth hormone which has the effect on long bones. It brings about the growth of these bones. And then now they're saying that mammary glands, that is prolactin. Prolactin, if you look at a hormone called prolactin, you know the word lactogen from ShopRite. That's milk. So lactin is milk. So lactose is milk sugar. So anything related to lact, it means that is milk. You must think about milk. So the answer is prolactin. And then they're saying that state 1 way in which the brain is protected. It's protected in 3 ways. By the 3 layers, which we call the meninges, the cerebrospinal fluid, and then also by the cranium, the cranium. So it is this cranium, not the whole skull, the cranium, because the skull, when you talk about the skull, it includes also the jaws. So you better use the word cranium. Remember, when you're talking about the brain size, how is the brain size? And the cranium, we said that don't talk about skull, talk about cranium. Then they're saying that describe the role of hypothalamus in regulating. How is hypothalamus able to regulate thermoregulation? Remember that how does it control thermoregulation? What is thermoregulation before you know the function of hypothalamus in this regard? Thermoregulation is when the temperature is being kept constant under a narrow range. So how is the hypothalamus able to do this? So when you talk about hypothalamus must work together with the skin. How? Now, this hypothalamus, it will receive and interpret. It will receive, and once it receives, it will interpret the impulse being received. And then, where is this impulse coming from? From the receptor. Where the receptor, it could be the skin or in the blood vessels, depending on where the temperature is, but mostly on the skin. So it receives and then interprets that impulse obtained from the receptor, which is the skin, and then sends the impulse to the blood vessel. So when the blood vessels, when it sends the impulse to the blood vessel, it will depend on whether the blood vessel will constrict or it will dilate. Because they said thermoregulation. They didn't say that in cold conditions or in hot conditions. So when it sends the impulse to the blood vessels will either constrict or will dilate. And then it will not stop there. Yes. It will also influence how much blood is flowing under the skin. So if it is dilated, it means more blood. If it has constricted, it means that less blood will flow under the skin. It does not stop there. Remember, thermoregulation involves the skin and the sweat gland. So now it will also influence the sweat gland, either by the sweat gland producing more sweat or by the sweat gland producing less sweat. So it will influence the blood vessel, the blood which flows on the skin or in the skin or under the skin. And then also it will also influence how the sweat gland will work. So basically you can say that it receives and interprets impulse from the receptor, that is the skin, and also now it sends the impulse to the blood vessels, either to of the skin, either to constrict or to dilate. You understand? And also influences the sweat gland, either to be more active or it becomes less active. Basically, that's what you need to know, because they didn't ask you whether it is cold conditions or in under 40 conditions. Part B is involved in homeostatic control of the carbon dioxide concentration. Yes. State the location of the receptor that is stimulated by the increase in the carbon dioxide concentration in the blood. Where is part B? Let's first see what is part B. Part B is the medulla oblongata. So what is the receptor? Where is the receptor? The receptor are found in the blood vessels, which we call carotid artery. Carotid artery. These are blood vessels. Carotid. Yes, carotid arteries. These are arteries. Where they found? You are found at the upper part of the human. Basically, the neck, the chest, the neck. Yeah, moving from the end of the neck to the chest to the part of the head. That's the lower part of the head. Yeah, we call them carotid artery. So that's where the receptors are found. And then B, they're saying that name the two effectors that part B sends impulse to. Where is part B now? Part B or receptors. If you look at it, there are two things which it sends impulse. It sends impulse to the heart so that the heart can either increase or decrease. Basically, the heartbeat increase so that it sends blood to the muscles and then picks up carbon dioxide. Number two, the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles. Diaphragm is also another tick, and intercostal muscles, so that the breathing rate can increase and the depth can also increase so that carbon dioxide is pumped out of the body. Carbon dioxide, we don't need it in the body. That's why it's supposed to be pumped out. We don't have the other way of the negative feedback mechanism for it.